All right, let's get into it. Today, we are diving deep into the psychology of people who genuinely love staying home. You know, that feeling of pure relief when plans get canceled? If your idea of a perfect night involves your couch and absolutely zero social obligations, well, you're about to feel very, very understood. We all have that friend, right? Or, let's be honest, maybe you are that friend, the one who suddenly feels a headache coming on, or has to work late, or sends that classic, slightly guilty, "So sorry, can we reschedule?" text. But here's where we need to shift our thinking. Because the first thought is always, wow, they're so flaky, or they must not like me. But what if it's not about you at all? What if it's not rejection, but preservation? What exactly are they trying to protect? Okay, first up, let's talk about the idea of a social battery. And I want to be clear, this isn't just some cute little metaphor people use. It's actually rooted in the way our brains are fundamentally wired. It's all about neurology. Think of it like two totally different types of phones. For an extrovert, being around people, noise, and lots of action is like plugging into a charger. It fills them up. But for an introvert, every single social interaction, even the good ones, the fun ones, is like running an app that drains the battery, bit by bit. For them, home isn't just where they live. It's the charging station. It's the only one that works. And you know what? Science actually has a name for this whole thing: optimal arousal theory. The gist is that some of us just have nervous systems that naturally run a little hotter. They don't need much outside stimulation to feel good. Others run cooler, and they actually seek out that stimulation. So choosing a quiet night in, it's not a character flaw. It's just your body trying to get back to its factory settings. All right, reason number 2. This goes beyond just our energy levels. For a lot of homebodies, the love of staying in comes down to one incredibly powerful psychological need: control. I mean, just think about it. The second you step outside your door, the world is, well, it's chaos, right? It's unpredictable, there are loud noises, you have to make small talk, plans change at the last minute. But at home, you're the director. You control the soundtrack, the lighting, the guest list. You control the entire vibe. And for some people, especially anyone dealing with anxiety or who is just a highly sensitive person, this sense of control isn't some nice-to-have luxury. It's a survival tactic. It's creating a space where your nervous system can finally take a breath and stop being on high alert. So often, society tells us that staying home is doing nothing. It's seen as wasted time. But what if that's completely wrong? What if doing nothing is actually when our brains do their most important work? Solitude is an empty space. It's a workshop for your mind. Seriously, research backs this up. That quiet time alone is where we process our day, where our creativity sparks, and where we actually solve problems. Think about it. Your best ideas probably don't show up when you're at a loud concert. They show up in the shower or on a quiet walk. For some people, their own inner world is more than enough entertainment. I absolutely love this quote because it just hits back at all that pressure to be constantly out, constantly performing. You know, if you figured out that a quiet night with a good documentary and a bowl of soup is what genuinely makes you feel good, that's not sad, that's not boring, that is peak self-awareness. Okay, but we do have to get real for a second here. It's super important to be honest with ourselves about why we're staying home. Is it a choice or is it a compulsion? Because for some, staying in isn't just a preference. It can be driven by social anxiety, by depression, by past trauma that makes the outside world feel impossible. And in those moments, home can stop feeling like a cozy refuge and start feeling more like a cage. So, how do you know the difference? Well, it really boils down to this. Are you choosing to stay home because it genuinely fills your cup and recharges you? That's peace. Or are you staying home because the very thought of leaving just feels too heavy, too overwhelming? That might be hiding. It's a simple question, but the answer can be pretty profound. And just being honest with yourself about it is a huge first step. And this all leads us to our final and maybe most important point. If you are one of those people who genuinely finds peace at home, you need to hear this. You are not missing out on life. You are simply experiencing it on a different frequency. Psychologists have a term for this. They call it a low stimulation preference. It just means you don't need a constant stream of external stuff to feel happy or engaged. You find the joy in the small things, in deep thoughts, in just being. Your own mind is the main event. And if you take one thing away from our time together today, please let it be this. If you are that person who feels happy turning down an invitation for a night in with a book, You are not broken. You're not weird. You are just wired for depth over noise and for peace over performance. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. Is this genuine love for staying home a true psychological preference? Or in our crazy demanding world, is it maybe becoming a really convenient excuse for all of us? It's something to think about.